Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And today I'd like to show you how I made this Valentine's card. And this is out of the new catalog and it's got some wonderful things in it. Now if you have a demonstrator, you've probably been mailed a copy of the catalog. It, I think, shipped on December 5th. And so people have had a chance to have this and to look at it. And inside here is part of what I'm using today. And so I have this Sending Love Design Series paper stack. And then this is a Sealed with Love bundle is what it's called. And it's pretty amazing. This set of dies, there are 14 dies in this set. And one of them is this little envelope, which I'm using today. And I'm using this little heart here, here, this, and this edge, cutting edge here. And the paper that goes with it is absolutely gorgeous. I've got the pad of paper here, and it's got just all kinds of pretty designs in it. And of course, their paper always comes with designs on the front and back. Isn't that just beautiful? And today, the paper that I'm using is this one that's got a little, I don't know what that is, maybe a little fleur-de-lis on one side and little hearts on the other. And I'm going to make little envelopes out of that. But this paper is just gorgeous, and there's like 5 or 6 sheets of each design in here. 6 each of 8 double-sided designs. And it's $10. It is a real bargain. And I'm using some of the stamps from this stamp set. I'm using the Happy Valentine's Day. I am using the little strip of hearts down here, and I'm using this little flourish right in here. And this is the new Occasions catalog, like I said, that went live. You can start ordering on January 4th. And it's got just some amazing stuff in it. This host set is just gorgeous. I've seen a couple things made up with it now. And there's balloon celebrations. There's a lot of dies. There's a lot of really interesting designs. And this one is kind of fun. This one is hot air balloons. And it's called the Lift Me Up bundle. And when you order a bundle from Stampin' Up, you get the stamp set and the dies. And when you order them as a bundle, you save 10%. If you were to order them separately, it would cost you 10% more. So there's all kinds of things, and I just want to show you one more kind of in the back here. This one is called So in Love bundle. And I am thinking I'm in love with this bundle. It's got this intricate floral design, and you can see where they've made a couple of different things with it here. And the stamp set that goes with that is this up here. Just for you, a day to celebrate, congratulations, happy anniversary. And there's some designer series paper. These are 12 by 12 pieces of paper, and this paper is just looking luscious to me, and so I'll be putting in my order on this one just very, very soon. Anyway, the other thing that goes on with the Occasions catalog is that there's a second catalog that comes out with this. It's called Sale-A-Bration, and the only way you can get things from here is for free. Anytime you order something, $50 worth of material from the Occasions catalog, the regular annual catalog, and while it's live until January 4th, the holiday catalog, $50 worth of stuff gets you something free from this catalog. And it has just wonderful stuff in here. There are stamp sets. Now this paper matches that hot air balloon set that we saw inside the other catalog. And there's these pretty borders, and this is something I wanted to share with you. This is the paper that you can get only free, and it's a designer series paper. It's called In the Lines, Inside the Lines, and it's all of these black and white designs. Let me pull some of that out so you can just get an idea. And there's several pieces of each paper. And in just starting to work with it, I've made a few things using this paper now that I'll be sharing in a bit. And this is a couple pieces of some of the paper that I have used. And I thought I'd show. And all I did with these was just outline the edges of the flowers, and I think it came out so pretty. I ended up making some calendars and some other kinds of things out of it, but you can only get this for free. Isn't that amazing? By ordering $50 from the other catalog, and then you get to pick anything from here. And there's always a late release. This catalog, the Celebration, is available January 4th to March 31st, so it's a fairly short-lived 3 months, and they'll release another few things that can be obtained after sometime in February. I don't remember the date exactly. Anyway, I wanted to share with you this whole idea of this occasions catalog, and so this is the card I made for Valentine's, and I think it's just as cute as it can be. And in order to make this card, we will need really a very few things. We need I made this out of a real red card base, 5.5 by 4 and 5.5 by 4 1/4, 4.5 scored at 4 1/4. Boy, I can't quite get it spit out here. And then you'll need 2 pieces of Whisper White that measure 5 1/4 by 4. Then you'll need a piece of scrap, real red, and a little piece of designer series paper here to cut my little envelope and on the inside. And out of the red, I'm cutting these little hearts here and these little hearts in here. And so that's all we need to get started. Now, again, the materials I'm using are Love Notes framelit dies, and this is part of that bundle. And there's just the cutest pieces in this that you can cut out. I cut out a few pieces, and this one is one of them. I'm not using it on this card, but isn't that cute? It's just a little heart, and it's got this open lattice work, and there's a couple of these arrows, and so you can do some interesting things with that. Like I said, it's got 14 dies, and then the stamps that it's got are these here. And again, what I'm using is the Happy Valentine's Day. I'm using the little row of hearts, and I'm using this little flourish. But you can see there are quite a few dies in this. I don't know how many there are, but there's a bunch. And so it's a pretty good value for the money. All right, so for this card, what I did was I did use on this piece of Whisper White, and let me show you here what I ran through the Big Shot. For this, you need your base plate, your platform, your thin die adapter, and a couple of cutting plates. So my cut plate, which goes down first, then my paper. And what I did was, you can see on this die, the cutting edge goes all the way to the top and the bottom on the inside line next to the hearts. So what I did was I placed this down so that I got the maximum possible cut across this bottom piece here. Then I added my top cutting plate and ran this through the Big Shot. And when you do that, this is what you get. you get this piece that is cut out, and these little hearts are articulated. So they can be picked up and given a little dimension here. And then I wanted to do something a little bit different. So I placed this on the bottom of the card, and then I took this piece, which is the negative for this, and I ran it through this Hearts folder, the Stampin' Up! Hearts folder that we have. And when you run this piece through, you want to make sure that, at least for me, I wanted the embossed side, the raised side, to be facing the front of the card. And in order to make sure you do that, where it has the signage, Stampin' Up! And Sizzix over here, that's where you want to have your paper so that it'll give you this raised impression. And I set this in here so that I got, and I'll show you here, the top edge of the hearts with a tiny little margin, and then the very edge of the hearts coming down here gives you a full heart at the bottom. And then I ran that through the Big Shot, and when you run that through the Big Shot, what you get is this little heart piece. And I'm going to use these two pieces together on my card front. Okay, the other thing that I did on the Big Shot using exactly this same sandwich, so the platform, the thin die adapter, the cutting plate, is on my piece of scrap red. I ran through my hearts. This little heart gives you this heart, which is again articulated, and then this little heart here I used on the inside to tuck inside the little envelope. So I ran that through, these through twice, so that I got a couple of each of those. And it runs through just like you see here, through the Big Shot a couple of times. And the last thing I did was I used this piece of designer series paper, and this piece is, the pages in this designer series paper are 6 by 6. So I was bound and determined to get the maximum out of that 6-inch piece of paper. So I cut a piece of paper 3 inches by 3 inches, and if you put this on the diagonal here, then you put your cutting plate on, and out comes this little guy, which folds into an envelope. And you could do it either way. I kind of liked having it fold up this way and having the little hearts show. But that's what you get when you run that through the Big Shot. Okay, now I've already run my pieces through so that I could save a bit of time. And so let's show you what we need to do to put this card together. So the first thing I did was fold and burnish the fold line of my my card base here. And then this piece goes onto my card flat, and then on this side what I did was I arranged this on dimensionals so this piece would stand up and out a little bit. So the very first thing I'm going to do is, well, I think probably the very first thing I'm going to do is do my stamping. So on this piece, I already mounted my stamp, the Happy Valentine's Day, and I'm using real red ink. So I'll get that out. And this Happy Valentine's Day stamp fits right in this spot down here. And I didn't use my piercing mat, and I should have. Hopefully this will come out. That's good enough. Okay, so it came out, and I have a nice Happy Valentine's Day sentiment here. And then I mounted the little row of hearts here, and on the other side I mounted the little flourish. And where we're going to put those stamps is on the inside of the card. So I'm going to stamp. This time I'll put my piercing mat down so I get it right. Stamp this flourish as close to the center as I can. And hold that in place for a few seconds. And there's a nice impression. Now then, I took my stamp and put the hearts on the other side here, and I inked that up. I got little bits of ink here. I'm just going to wipe that away. And I centered these hearts right under that flourish. And there we have a nice little row of hearts. Now on this one, I think the jury's out. I put the row of hearts, and then I decided to add the envelope, and it's almost, in my opinion, too much. So this time I'm going to omit the hearts at the bottom, put in my envelope, and see what I think, because I can always add the hearts over to this side if I decide I really want to have them. But I think it looked a little busy. So I'm going to omit the hearts at the bottom, and I think that is all the stamping that there is to do on this project. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to put some snail on the bottom of I don't like it when it gets too many things on my work surface here. So let me get a few of these things out of the way. And I'm going to put a little bit of snail on the back of this, paying particular attention to the top edges here on here. Now I'm also going to use a little bit of Tombow to get in between the hearts and around the edge of the flat parts of these hearts. You to be able to see what I'm doing here. So I'm putting a little bit of Tombow in between the hearts here so that piece will sit down flat, and then I'm putting a little bit of Tombow on this edge around the hearts because I don't want them to pick up or come apart with an envelope or any of those things. So just sticking a little bit down there. All right, now I cut this original so that I would have a border about that big. So I'm going to lay that piece down and just secure those little points in between the hearts and around these edges. I can see I've got a little bit of glue oozing there. So just securing those edges down so this doesn't move. There. Okay. So I'm happy with that. And the next thing I'm going to do is add some dimensionals to the back of this piece that I embossed and then put that into place here. I like the idea of getting a border around the hearts here. And if I'm careful, this should just fit in there and give me that little border that I'm looking for. So I have to add some dimensionals here. So I'm going to catch all of my corners. And then I'm going to cut a couple of these dimensionals maybe along this edge. Because I wanted to get a couple of dimensionals in a couple of these places close to where this is going to go around the hearts. And I thought it would be good to see if I don't want to get it too close to the edge, because I sure don't want it to show, but I do want it nice and secure. So I'm just going to put a little piece of dimensional in each one of those spots. One more. Then I think, just so that everything is properly supported, I'm going to add a couple more dimensionals here. Okay, so now it is a matter of getting these backs off. I hope everybody had a lovely Christmas. And I don't know very many places except maybe in the East Coast where there was a white Christmas. We threatened here in Colorado, and then it never actually materialized. It was very windy, but we didn't get any snow. Okay, so now I am going to very gently see about lining this up and getting the margin that I want. There we go. There. So you can just see a peek of the red both underneath the hearts here and around the edge. So then I cut a couple of these red articulated hearts, and with these they also score for you. Let me show you one here before I peel it back. It's got two score lines right down the middle, so it gives you a place to add some glue on the back of these. It's just really pretty and picks up nicely. And I think, again, I'll use Tombow just right down the edge of the spine of this heart and right along the edge of the border. And what I did with this was I decided I kind of wanted one heart going one direction. Hold that in place because that is embossed there, so I want to make sure it gets a good grip. And then put the other heart going just slightly askew in a different direction. I thought it added a little bit more interest that way. Oh dear, that's an awful lot of glue there. So I think I'm going to have to use a piece of scrap here. Just a little piece of scrap paper. And see if I can coax a little of that glue off of there. I think that'll do it. All right. And so adding this heart down next to the other one and making sure that that sticks down. Okay. And then what we need are a little embellishments to the front of this. And I used some rhinestones, and I finished my package. So this is a package that I started and haven't gotten very far with. So on this one, it seemed to me that these largest rhinestones, I put this one on this one, I put a much smaller one, and I think I wanted one with a little bit more impact on it here. And then I'm going to use these smaller ones, and what I did was just put it in the space between the cutout hearts. And I thought that just dressed it up nicely. There we go. There we go. And there's the front of our card, pretty well done. Now, on this little envelope, what I did was I used some glue dots, and because I don't want this sticking up much, so I think I want a glue dot on the tip of this point of the envelope, and that will allow me to close this one across. And then we'll add another glue dot on this piece that's going to fold up and make the envelope there. So there we go. And then I just took a couple of more glue dots here on the back of my little envelope. And, oops, there's my inside. And set that down at a little bit of an angle here. And then I should have two little hearts that I cut out. Oh. There's a rule about this when you're filming. Things just go missing. So I'll have to add them after. So let me put a little bit of adhesive on this and put this on the inside of my card. Okay, and you get the idea that this is going to have the two little hearts coming out of the pocket of the little envelope. And I think that that is plenty of decoration. I don't know, I'm going to just fold that a little bit so it has a little dimension to it. I wonder what I did with those hearts. I had them here and set them aside, and they've gone away. Okay, well, again, I'll add them, but this is what the inside of the card looks like with a couple little hearts. And I don't know, you'll have to tell me whether you think these hearts add anything to the bottom. It does look a little bare, so maybe I will stamp those little hearts on the bottom there. I was thinking it was a bit much, but perhaps not. So I'm going to ink that up, and I'm going to put those hearts centered between the envelope and the edge of the insert, the white insert there. And there we go. There, I think it does look better that way. Okay, well, again, I'll add my little hearts as soon as I am finished with the video here and can find them. And that is the project for today. It's a very pretty little Valentine's card, pretty simple, very few pieces, and actually pretty fast, using the new materials Sealed with Love bundle in the Occasions catalog. So thank you so much for stopping by and watching my YouTube video today. Anything here can be purchased on my 24/7 shop, lbedinger.stampinup.net. And if you don't already have a demonstrator, or you don't have an Occasions catalog and you would like to have one, I'd be happy to send one to you. And you can select me as your demonstrator. That would be fantastic. Or you could join my team. In any case, thanks for watching. I'll be back soon. Bye.